Hello. Welcome to Media Queen TV. This is our episode 9 of our 2025 series. And today we're going to be chatting about how to be empowered after 40. My name is Aldwyn Altuney, your host, and we have an amazing guest with us, Ani Catino, all the way from the UK. Now it is after midnight here on the Gold Coast in Australia. And what time is it for you there now, Ani?
It's now after 2 p.m. in the afternoon
2 p.m. on Sunday.
on a Sunday.
Fantastic. Now, great to have you with us, Ani. A little bit about Ani for those who don't know you. Ani's a business success and mindset coach and host of the Empowered After 40 podcast. In fact, she just interviewed me on her amazing show, Empowered After 40. She's originally from Turkey and is now based in the UK. She's transformed decades of experience as an interpreter and digital marketing consultant into her passion for empowering women over 40. Ani helps women build confidence, independence, and financial freedom, proving that it's never too late to reinvent yourself or create the life and business you deserve. Love this topic. Ani, thank you so much for joining us today. So great to have you here.
Thank you very much, Aldin, for having me. It's great to be here.
It is fantastic. Now, we met several years ago in Thailand. We met at a David Kavanagh Internet Business Summit in Pattaya, and we did an elephant tour together, which was really, really cool. That was after David's event. We had about 10 of us that had a spare day after the conference and went and hung out with elephants for the day, which was fantastic. And, this is where relationships are really important, to keep building relationships, because recently we caught up again at a Sharon Jerd event. And here we are now. We're both interviewing each other, which is really cool. So, Empowered After 40, why is this topic so important for you, Ani?
It is important, Aldin, because I know that some women, when they are around the mature age, which is around 40ish, they think that actually they can't really do anything and it is too late, and they don't have the encouragement, and they don't have that confidence to start something that they want to do or to continue their life. They think that after 40, for some, life is coming to an end, and their career or their family life is going to continue as it is, or otherwise they're going to think of the retirement. But I actually think of otherwise. In fact, nowadays 40 is actually new 20s, because nowadays most women are starting their life after 40s. They are having career change. They are even having babies after 40s. So for me, 40s now are the new 20s. Therefore the life can start after 40s with their confidence and building to do something they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, they say 70 is now the new 40. So things are certainly changing when it comes to aging, because we are living longer. And, 40 really is like 20 now. I mean, it's life is going at a cracking pace. And, for a lot of people, they have had children by the age of 40. And then there's those that haven't, that are having kids in their late 40s. In fact, there was a lady here on the Gold Coast that had a child naturally at age 50 a little while ago. So, it's all absolutely possible. And, there are empty nesters too who are now considering, okay, what are they going to do with their lives after the age of 40? And I think it's important to follow your dreams and do what you want to do earlier on in life, rather than waiting till retirement like we used to once upon a time. It'd be like, oh, wait till we get to 65, then we'll travel the world. And by then often people have a lot of sicknesses, or they're not that healthy to be able to travel the world at that age. So you really want to be thinking of these things earlier. Now, your background is very interesting here, that you're an interpreter and a digital marketing consultant as well. So you've had quite an interesting background there. Now, what was it that took you from Turkey to the UK?
So, to begin with, it was a language, because I had a good job in Turkey, but then I was very ambitious. So I decided that coming to UK, learning English would make my career better. And then, I could find a better job. when I returned to Turkey. That was my initial thoughts. Yeah, learning English. But then, when once I was in UK, when I lived in UK for after a few months, I decided that, right, this is the place that I want to settle, and this is the place that I want to spend my rest of my life for. And therefore, this is how it became all relevant for me to staying in UK. I did learn English, obviously, but I did dedicate my time, a lot of my time, to English, because I was single. I didn't have the family then, and I believe that if you don't have a family, it makes it much better for you to learn a foreign language. In fact, anything. Uh, doesn't matter how old you are, but I think the family life, after a while, distracts you. So that's why I did what I needed to do before I got married, and I learned my English. I even learned my Italian because of my background. Although I do come from Turkey, I'm Christian. I do have my mom Armenian, Turkish Armenian, and my dad is Italian, and therefore that's why I am a bit mixed race, if you call me mixed race. But I couldn't learn Italian because I lost my dad from a very young age. I was only 5 years old, so
Mm.
I learned Italian. But then when I came to UK, I also decided to learn Italian because I saw the opportunities. Unfortunately, in Turkey, we didn't have as many opportunities as there are now, because after a certain age, after you have your education, after you study university, it's from 18 to 22, 23. That's it. There weren't any education industries or education places that you could go and continue your education, because they would they would shame you at that time. It's not like that now, but
Oh,
I'm going 40 years back. So 40 years ago, everything was different. As you said before, the life is changing. So when I came here, I decided to learn English as well as Italian. I wanted to stay in UK, but I wasn't sure whether I could. So that's how my story started.
wow. Which part of Turkey were you from?
I am from Istanbul.
Oh, Istanbul. That's where my uncle is, in Istanbul. My parents were actually born in Iskenderun, and similar to yourself, they were Christians in Turkey. Of course, Turkey is
Okay.
a 99% Muslim
It is.
country. And, I have Greek, Turkish, Ukrainian, and you have an amazing mix of Armenian, Italian, and Turkish. Wow, what a wild
Yes,
mix. I love it. Very multicultural.
I
Uh,
am. I am.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. Now we have Corinda is with us. Hey, Corinda, good to see you there. Actually, Corinda has the Empowerment Extend show. He's based in the UK as well, and he's all about inclusivity as well, about inclusion. So great to see you there,
Hello,
Corinda.
Karinder. Hello.
Good to see you there. And for those who are joining us now on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you're joining us from, hello, hello. We love this to be an interactive show. So if you have any questions at all for us, then please reach out. Now, this is interesting. Empowered after 40. Now, you specifically work with women. However, it's interesting. I've noticed a lot of men often get to around 50 and they sort of have this midlife crisis. And actually, some women do as well. And that's where we get the term cougar, or we get the guys that run off with the young girls and they get to their 50s. And some women get to their sort of 50s, 60s and then run off with young guys. So what is this sort of midlife crisis that happens for people? What's this all about, do you think?
I think when mature people come to their 40s, I think there is some confusion there going on, because it is actually critical. Critical age, because they think that youth is gone, and on the other hand, they feel that they are getting older. So I think that's when the confusion comes, because they don't know what the life is about, and they don't know what they want to do in life. Maybe if they did something before their 40s, they regret it, or they want to do something different, or vice versa. They want to do something new after 40. And yes, my show and my business is usually for women but it is not only for women. So this is why I called Empower After 40. It can be for men as well, because yes, I do realize that there are also some men who are not sure about, you know, what the life holds for them later on in their lives, what career they want to do, or if they want to continue their career. And sometimes I do actually see again a lot of women and men, and they want to, you know, leave their partner, they want to end their partnership, and then they just, you know, want someone different, maybe because they don't understand each other, or because they just grow out of each other, I suppose. So yeah, that's why 40 years is, for me, is a critical age for everybody. Things start, you know, getting a new directions.
Yes, yes. You know, it's funny. The other day, I caught up with an old friend of mine who I hadn't seen for 10 years, a guy called Peter Birrell, who turned up. And I remember I met him when I was in my 30s. And I remember him saying to me, wait till you get to 40, then you'll really understand things when you get to 40. And I remember him saying that to me in my 30s. And here I am now at 51. And I was actually sharing that story with him the other day when he came and visited me out of the blue. And interestingly, he fell for a young girl, actually, who got quite ripped off, a young Thai girl that just, you know, sucked up a lot of money. But, you know, he said, well, he kind of knew it was happening. The relationship lasted 2 years, you know, as it often does with these things, you know, that people are looking for love. And, you know, I've heard of women also giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to, you know, to men in love in their 40s or 50s. And people can be very vulnerable and get ripped off because they want to feel young again, I think, sometimes. And, you know, when they have someone that's half their age that shows some interest in them, they, you know, it sort of reinvigorates them almost. However, often it's not long lasting, unfortunately. You know, there can be traps there with that for males and females.
Yeah, I mean, I see that scenario usually when there is a, you know, early marriage, particularly in their 20s. You know, men and women sometimes do get married in their 20s. And I think that's when they start realizing that maybe it wasn't the right partner, or it wasn't the right marriage. I think that's when the crisis starting to happen.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. People sort of have regrets, or maybe, yeah, they've been married for a long time and they just want to experience something different.
Hmm.
And they can go completely the other way and go from being with one partner for 30 years and suddenly go off and be with, you know, 10 in a week. As I've known, you know, some go a little bit extreme. However, you know, whatever lights you up, whatever, you know, whatever helps you feel empowered. And on this topic of being empowered after 40, what are some tips you would give to people who are at 40 and maybe feeling a little bit lost or feeling like not sure which way to go? What are some tips you could give them?
So I think, I mean, after 40, it doesn't mean that the life is ending, or life is just, you know, has to go as it is. There are lots of things, especially nowadays. The technology is changing, the people are changing, the lifestyle is changing. I think there are lots of things that people can do, whether it's women or men. They can feel confidence in themselves, and they have to feel confidence in themselves. Sometimes this confidence can be knocked down by either someone they know or by a family member, but I don't think they should listen to them. The first thing is, I think, the confidence, and they have to have a high, you know, they have to have a confidence, and they shouldn't allow anyone to knock their self-esteem. And they also
Yes.
have to encourage themselves to do something different, or whatever they want to do in the life, something that they've dreamt of, or sometimes something that they wanted to do. So even if they want to travel, it's never too late for traveling at 40s. I mean, people are traveling now, even their 60s, 70s, let alone 40s. But I think the main thing they have to do is they just have to be confident in themselves. and they have to have the encouragement of doing what they want to do, regardless listening to somebody else. And of course, they also have to look after themselves. They have to, their lifestyle should be as they want to do. I think they have to avoid all these crowd and all this business and this business and this craziness in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, building confidence, I think, is crucial. And I'm sure there's many different ways to do that. What are some ways that you've found that you've built your confidence over time? And what tips would you give people around specifically building confidence? How to go about that? What are some things can help?
I mean, it took me a long time to build my confidence because I was quite I grew up quite in a restricted family, because they wanted me to be like other girls were. I always had the mind of my own, and I always was a free spirit, but that wasn't allowed in my family home, because like you are, Aldin, coming from the Turkish background, there are some things that allowed and some things that are not allowed. Again, that's changed now. I wish I would live now than that I was born many years ago. But I am 60, and I am just learning to be confident in myself, because my confidence was knocked down for different reasons. But I did have a lot of self-development programs and personal development. I did actually join a lot of programs, and I did have a lot of mentors to guide me, to encourage me, and I'm still going on. It's not the end. I'm still going on. I'm still developing in my self-confidence and in my personal development. So I think that's the most important thing is, if somebody is not confident, don't let anyone knocking the confidence down, because everybody is individual and everybody's got experience and everybody's got something to give to society or to somebody else. But self-development and personal growth is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just did a quick search, and it's interesting when you Google things nowadays how AI is at the top of the list. AI's answer, you have the bot's answer comes above everything else. And this is what the bot says about how to build confidence. It says focus on self-care, setting and achieving small goals, and changing your internal dialogue to be more positive and realistic. Taking action, even in small steps, helps build a proof of capability and self-trust, while surrounding yourself with supportive people and acknowledging your accomplishments.
That's actually very true, because when you are with the people who are supportive in your around you, you build more confidence and you get better in yourself. Whereas some people are trying to put you down because they can't do it, and they don't think that you can. Although they don't think that you can, because they can't do it, they are trying to discourage you. And don't listen to these people, and just distance yourself from those people. And I truly believe that, because I've had those people around me, and now I haven't got a lot of people around me, but I've got the people that I have are supportive. And I think that supportive environment, that supportive group of people are more important than having many people around you but not being supported.
Absolutely. Yes, your environment is absolutely crucial. As they say, who are the 5 people you hang out with most? They're the people you're going to be most liked, right?
Exactly.
And AI elaborates a little bit on this, and it says, with one section about focusing on your internal dialogue and your self-perception, it says use positive affirmations, challenge your negative thoughts, keep a gratitude or achievements list. We talked about this on your show, actually, about gratitude and about acknowledging your achievements. It also says accept compliments. And this is something often people are challenged with accepting compliments. If someone says something nice, do you sort of brush it off, or do you say, "Oh, thank you very much. That's lovely. Thank you."
Yeah.
So there's some great things there. Then it goes on to talk about taking action and building skills. So setting achievable goals, developing skills, learning new skills, step outside your comfort zone, and follow through. So consistently doing what you say you do will build your self-trust, and that is the foundation of confidence, is your self-trust. And then the last section here, it says practice self-care and build the supportive environment. We mentioned the supportive environment. Prioritize your physical health. So exercise, eat well, get enough sleep, take care of your body. That improves your overall self-perception. Surround yourself with positive people. We just talked about that. Be kind to yourself and learn to say no. They're absolute gold.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they are gold, Aldin, but unfortunately, including me, some of us can't do that, or not all of it, because we always say, to ourselves, we always tell ourselves, yes, we have to do that, we must do that, we must do that, we must keep goals, we must look after ourselves. Then at the end of the day, something comes up, and there is always an obstruction. Sometimes we can't achieve everything that we say that we're gonna do, or we want to do. So yes,
Yes.
some of them is very true, but some of them are based on the self-discipline, which is very important. But life comes in the way. Let's be honest. That's
Mm.
life, and when the life comes in the way, sometimes you can't help achieving all these goals or doing what you're gonna do.
Yes, we are human beings and we have our flaws and we don't always honor our word. And,
Mm.
I think it's a great thing to aim to honor our word, to be in integrity all the time. However, as they say with different landmark trainings that I've done, they say if you don't honor your word, then as soon as possible that you're not going to honor your word, then clean up with the person, as in make the phone call or communicate with the person that you need to clean up with. Sometimes though, when it's with ourselves, like say you're going to get up at 6 a.m. and you're going to go for a run, and then your alarm goes off at like 5:45 or whatever, and you're tired and you don't want to get out of bed, or it's
Um,
raining or whatever, then that means you're not honoring yourself, because you said you were going to get up at 6 a.m. and do a run, and maybe you have an excuse like it's raining or you're tired or whatever, and then that can then build up. If we don't honor our word for ourselves, that can then build up to us not trusting ourselves, which of course will lower our self-confidence. So I think that everything has a cost and a payoff, right? There's
sure.
always there's a benefit, and there's a cost with doing or not doing something. And yeah, it is challenging for people. And I guess that's
And
why, being empowered after 40 is such a challenging thing for people, because a lot of people, sort of beat themselves up over their shortcomings.
And you know what? What I find recently, that sometimes accountability makes a lot of difference. So, someone you can trust and someone you are close to, or someone is supportive of you, must be your accountability partner, let's say, because if you don't do what you promise yourself to do, and when you don't honor yourself, you can always tell this person, look, hold me accountable, and you have to encourage me. And you know what? I see a lot of benefit of that, because I have a friend, I mean, she's my very old friend anyway. She's been my one of my oldest friends. When I was trying to lose weight, she was encouraging me. So she was phoning me every day. What have you done today? What have you done today? Have you done this, and have you done that? So because of that, I managed to lose, quite a few pounds. That was then. Then of course, now it's not as efficient as it is, for different reasons. But I think this friend, who was my accountability partner, because she was also trying to lose weight at the same time, we were just encouraging each other, and because of each other, we managed to try a few pounds. So I think accountability makes a lot of difference.
Yes, absolutely. And again, that's having a great environment of people that are going to lift you up and encourage you on the way, and really
Mhm.
noticing the kinds of people that you have in your life, and are they lifting you up or are they bringing you down? As they say, generally with people that come into our life, we're either really happy to see them arrive or we're really happy to see them go. So, which one is it with the people that come into your life?
They say that some people come into your life for a different reason, but then there's also time for them to leave. So there is always a reason for some people, come into your life and then they have to go when it's time, because they teach you something. I think there is a lesson in every person that you can learn. People just don't come into your lives for just like that. I don't believe that. I believe everyone comes into your life for a reason. Some people do stay because you need them or they need you, or some people teach you something and then they go.
Yes, and then it's time for the next chapter. The next chapter in the book.
Exactly.
That's right. People come in for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, they say.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all perfect. It's all, it's interesting. Out of the, 8 billion people on the planet, and we might meet 100,000 in our whole life, for example. That's interesting. The number of people we meet, or might even be 10,000, I don't know. I mean, it's not much, right? Compared to how many people are actually on the planet, is that people would actually meet face to face. We might meet a lot more now online with the online world. Well, you don't really actually meet them as such, but we stalk a lot of people online. Let's face it, we follow a lot of people, we check a lot of people out. Or is that just me?
We are all stalkers. We are all stalkers.
Yeah, we're all stalkers. We all spend way too much time on social media. But anyway, and that's one way not to be empowered, because what happens when we get on social media is we compare ourselves to others, don't we? We can't help ourselves, can we? There was this judgment. The judgment comes up, right? Or the self-talk, or I'm not like that person, or like, whatever it is. And of course, we're all individuals, and so be very careful in, comparing yourself to others. And we all do it. We all do it. We think, oh, I'm not as good as that person, or why is that person like that? And why aren't I like this? And right. And then you just end up, it can be a downward spiral, rather than actually acknowledging yourself where you're at. And hey, maybe it's all perfect. Maybe it's absolutely perfect. You are exactly where you are, because if you were to be a different way, you would have been a different way by now. And at the end of the day, what does it matter anyway? Because a third of people die by the age of 65. And 90% of people die with regrets. So when you look at it that way, you think, well, what do we worry about anyway? What do we stress about? But it's because we've been conditioned to live in drama, from TV, from movies. It's just drama, drama, drama. And so even when there's no drama, often we'll just create drama. And often it's in our own head as well. So also noticing the conversations that you have with yourself. And notice, are you being kind to yourself? Are you being kind to others? As they say, hurt people, and healed people heal people. And this is where it's so important to do the inner work, to be empowered. Empowered means being, in a state of power. Not if you're disempowered, it's the opposite, right? So if you're not honoring your word, if you're treating your body badly, if you're talking negative thoughts to yourself, well, that's going to be very disempowered, right? So how do you want to live your life at the end of the day?
Exactly. Yeah, it's again, it is for individuals, to just assess themselves. But when I say assess themselves, they can't be perfect. None of us are perfect. We are all humans, and like I said before, we all have something to give. But if you think about, if you have these negative thoughts or negative feelings in you, you're never gonna you're not gonna feel happy. You're never gonna feel happy. And life is not about being perfect or a perfect life. Life is about having, and about just thanking what you have, and just moving with that. So yeah, that's true what you're saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, working with what you've got. None of us sort of chose to be in this body, I guess. I mean, some people say that we did, our spirit did, chose to be in this body, but really we're born the way we're born. It's amazing how what we do to our bodies can either make us ugly to others or ugly to ourselves, depending. Like, like right now, I'm carrying a little bit of extra weight, for example. Now, it's not so much that it's ugly. I do have a little bit of a belly. However, it's not healthy, right? So I'm working on that at the moment. I'm working on, how can I, tone up a bit? And so I'm making more of an effort to exercise, making more of an effort to, drink lots of water, etc. Ideally not eating late at night, although that can be a bad habit and sometimes has been a bad habit, eating late at night, not necessarily a good thing. Doing things like intermittent fasting. What are some things you can do to improve your health that will have you feel better too? Because your body's not going to work as hard if you're carrying extra weight. You're more likely to get other diseases in the body, which is going to make you feel pretty disempowered if you're feeling sick. So your health is absolutely crucial. So what are some things you do, Ani, for your health?
Unfortunately, I can't say that I'm the healthiest person. However, I am trying to cut down, different things that I used to have. So I try to eat, a very balanced meal whenever I can. In the mornings, particularly, I try to be careful not having a lot of bread or things like that. But my main aim is losing weight at the moment, because of different reason. I put some weight on again, like I'm saying. I do like food. I like eating, and I like eating nice food. Some people don't mind eating food or not, but I do, because when I eat,
Yes.
I like eating nice food, and unfortunately that nice food doesn't always go along with me. But when I say nice food, I try to stay away from the fried foods or very fatty foods. I don't get burgers or things like that, if I can help it, which most of the time I can. But I usually have a grilled meat or grilled chicken or things like that, and I do try to keep it on when I can. If only I could cut down some biscuits, that would be great. And I try to go on walks with my dog in the mornings. Unfortunately, living in UK doesn't always help, because we have a very strange winter and cold winter, which is starting, I suppose. It is starting to rain now and it's starting getting cold. And going out for walks in the morning is not my ideal time of the day. However, my dog encourages me to do that. So I try to go for walks, unfortunately, not more than once. So I try to keep my balance with my food, and I don't exercise much apart from the walks. I don't like exercising very much. Uh, Only exercise that I do is swimming, but not in the winter. That would be the summertime, because I feel cold when I'm swimming. But I try to eat a healthy, balanced diet when I can. Vegetables, grilled meat, fruit whenever I can. So yeah, I try to keep it at pace.
Yes, I feel you there, and that sounds great. And having Turkish background, yes, we love our food, and the Turks make amazing food. I love the Mediterranean diet. Oh my gosh, actually, it's one of the healthiest diets, the Mediterranean diet. Things like tabbouleh and hummus, and there's some really yummy foods out of the Mediterranean.
Not always, no, because unfortunately, when you go to Turkey, you find a lot of pastries and you find lots of, you
Ah,
know,
baklava.
um, dessert and
Yeah,
baklava, and
Turkish
lots of,
delight.
which none of us need, because
No,
it's just full of sugar and full of
that's true. That's
fattening
true.
pastry. We don't really need it, but the way that they make it, it is tasty, so you can't really resist it. So it's
It's so
not
yummy.
about hummus or tabbouleh. There are other things that they do, like kebab, for instance.
Yes,
And when it comes to this kind of food, you can't eat it without bread. There is also some Turkish dishes which also you can't eat without bread, because
that's true.
it just doesn't taste without bread. So it's not as simple, unfortunately. And that is one of the things that every time I go to Turkey, when I'm trying to lose weight here, I go there and then I take a couple of more pounds and then come back and then start all over again.
Yes, I feel yes, they do have some amazing desserts. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes, and they do love their bread. Yes, which of course is going to put the weight on. Now, I was quite shocked more recently with vegetable oils. I actually thought with the name like vegetable oil, you would think it was healthy, right?
Mm,
Vegetable oil, corn oil, soy oil, and sunflower oil, you would think is healthy by the name. However, these oils are very high in omega-6 fatty acids, which leads to inflammation and contributes to diseases like cardiovascular disease, arthritis, and inflammatory bowel disease. So they're actually really, really, really bad for you, vegetable oils. And vegetable oils are in just about everything. In
mm,
fact, on Total Truth Show with Ken Kleinberg, we did a few episodes about vegetable oils and seed oils. And it's I would say a lot of people have this inflammation from vegetable oils. Um, it's pretty bad news. You might want to do a bit of research into that. Also, the contaminants with vegetable oils is because of the processing, the poor storage, and the agricultural practices. This can lead to contamination with heavy metals, pesticides, and other toxic compounds in the oil as well.
mm. I mean,
So,
I'm not a, the nutrition expert. Obviously, I can't really comment on that. However, I don't use sunflower or vegetable oil. What I use is pure olive oil, because my husband is also Italian, so we love having the just pure olive oil in our food or on our salad. But I do appreciate that, vegetable or sunflower or seed oils can include the contaminated harmful chemicals.
mm,
That's why
mm.
that's why I don't like it. That's why I don't buy it.
Yes, which also, if you buy chips or fries, it would all be, using vegetable oil. So that would all be soaked up in the food too whenever you get takeaway
Exactly.
food,
Exactly.
generally, because they're not going to use the olive oils or coconut
No,
oil.
no, no, sure. No, no,
They're
they
not
won't.
going to be using
Um,
those oils.
yeah,
Mm,
luckily we don't have a lot of takeaway. We maybe have takeaway, once a month in our household, and we don't fries. It's actually strange because they are called fries, but we don't actually fry them. So I just
ah,
put them in the oven. So even they are called fries, I put them in the oven. Yeah, it's I don't. The thing is that nowadays you don't know what's good, what's not anymore, because when you turn your head, wherever you go, they are saying that something is always harmful. Again, I'm not a nutrition expert, but as far as my the logic says to me, I try to stick on what I know and avoid the things that don't make sense to me.
mm, mm. Yeah, and there's so much now that we buy that's in a packet, and generally anything in a packet mostly will need to be preserved. It'll need preservatives and things like that. So most things you buy out of a packet are generally not good for your body. The fastest food in general was the food we used to get straight from the garden. All right. And, our farmers have been attacked massively around the world.
Mm,
However, grow your own vegetables, grow your own fruit as much as possible where you can, and get empowered with your own food, because then you know what's going into your food, and you,
yeah,
you don't want to be putting pesticides or any of that other rubbish on there. But
no,
no doubt most of us would have some heavy metal poisoning in our body. If we got our blood tests done, I think we'd be quite shocked by what comes up inadvertently. And I mean, even eating fish from the sea, I mean, a lot of fish eat plastics, because there's so much plastic out in the ocean, and then people get microtoxicity from the plastic from the fish, from eating the fish. So,
yeah,
we're being poisoned in multiple ways. Then we've got chemtrails, we've got, poisoning of the atmosphere and our water supplies, and the list goes on. So,
yeah,
however, we are very resilient as human beings, and it's amazing what our body can survive and move through.
yeah,
But
yeah.
the more chances you give your body of being healthy and being empowered, I think the better. So it's really noticing, I think, getting conscious to what is empowerment for you. When do you feel empowered? When you're doing, so for you, yeah, what is it for you?
Empowerment for me is, to trust myself and to be strong, to stand up for my own 2 feet,
Mm.
not to rely on anyone, and to do and to be able to do whatever I want to do, as long as I can do. When I say I can do, that includes the illness or the death. So as long as I can do that, then I don't think anything or anyone can stop me. So that is the empowerment for me, just to be my own person, and to be confident in myself, and trust my instincts that if anyone can do, so can I.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, Annie. That is really cool. Absolutely. If other people can do it, you can do it absolutely
Mm.
as well.
Mm.
Now it's interesting for you. Now you're a mother, obviously. Now, how many children do you have?
I have 2 boys, but they are both adults.
Two. So you see, now it's time for you. So you're almost an empty nester.
Not yet. They are
Uh,
still here. They still live with
uh,
us. Yeah.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And so the journey for you, as someone who's got two grown boys now, have you noticed some big changes for you in the last few years? Now the boys are probably self-sufficient, almost completely self-sufficient, I would imagine. Has it been a big change for you to, now your total focus, I presume, is not on your boys anymore because they're probably quite independent, I'd imagine. So how's that transition been for you now?
So they are semi-independent. They are not all independent, but of course, things have changed, because I used to be, a full-time mom when they were younger, and I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And, there were other things when I wanted to do in my early 30s or even early 40s, but I couldn't do what I wanted to do. Um, due to different issues that we had. But obviously, as they grew older, things got easier, and I don't consider myself as a full-time mom. Yes, of course, I'm always around, and they live with us. They can still do their things, and this is why it gave me the encouragement and the confidence of going out, and then starting the businesses, and putting more skills in my already existing businesses, because I have worked as a freelance person. I have done my digital marketing and my interpreting for a long time. But as the time went by, I thought that there were more skills that I could do, which is why I had my personal development, and I grew in myself. So I mean, yes, years, obviously, there were few phases of our years. There were different phases, and there were more difficult one. There were, semi-difficult one, easiest one, and not easy ones. So, but we just got over all of them now, and it is time for me now.
Time for you. I love that. And interpreter's an interesting profession. Where did you do interpreting?
So after learning in English, and my sons were younger, I didn't know what to do. I did have a qualification, but because I had to do flexible for my qualification, previous qualification, but I couldn't do that because I didn't want to leave my sons to any nannies or babysitter, because I wanted to bring them up myself. So I thought, what else can I do? There wasn't any freelancing like people do it now. There was digital. There weren't any mobile
Mm,
phones like they are now.
mm,
So I
mm,
thought to myself, what could I do? So then I did some research, and I found that actually interpreting can work on the freelance basis, because you can choose your own hours, and you can be your own boss. And that's what I did. So I did get my interpreting qualification. That was a three months course. So I am a qualified interpreter now for 26 years. And
mm.
I speak Turkish and I speak Italian. And then with these languages, I do interpret in English. So I interpret it in health institutions. We call it NHS, which is a National Health Service. I interpret in education settings, in police departments, in courts, in immigration, local government, which is the council. So wherever they call me, I'm there. But I used to do face-to-face a lot. After the COVID, it just got back to online, and now most of my interpreting services are online.
Amazing. And the digital marketing, what do you do for people there?
So in digital marketing, I offer website, social media services, the chatbots, SEO. I'm trying to think now. I do offer a few things, but at website, social media, and the chatbot are the main things that I offer. But then I can also do video creation as well. That's why I actually joined the David Kavanagh's course, because my idea was for creating videos in the first place, animation, explanatory videos. So that's another thing that I do. And on the top of that, I can do other things with the digital marketing. So there are quite a lot of things that I can do with that.
Amazing. And I love your podcast, your new podcast. So I was your episode 3, and no doubt you'd be looking for more people to interview. How can people find out about your show, Empowered After 40, and how can they come on as a guest?
So they can actually come to my Facebook, which is connect with Ani at facebook.com/Ani Catino. So I don't know if they can see the link, but if you just go on the Facebook, and if you can type my name, Ani Catino, you will find me. And I'm also on LinkedIn and YouTube as well.
Yay. Awesome. Okay, so reach out to Annie if you would like some digital marketing done or some interpreting, or if you want to be on her show as well, Empowered After 40. I think it's so important. I think there's so many people have such low self-esteem, and this is where we see people hurting people, because people feel so crap about themselves that they go through living a miserable life. And who wants to live a miserable life? And I mean, I know I've had depression. I've been very miserable at different times in my life. And there's always times when we're going to feel like crap. But the trick is, you don't want to stay there too long. If you're feeling like crap for a bit, okay, take some rest, do what you need to do to get yourself back on your feet again and get back up, right? Because you don't want to be miserable for too long. It's a horrible way to live.
Yeah. I mean, life, unfortunately, like you said, we're never gonna have the best life, or we're never gonna have a happy life. Not every day anyway. The life is not gonna be lovey-dovey every day. There is gonna be some problems, some issues, troubles in life that is gonna, come. And again, the main thing that, like you said, to do is to get over that, not to stay there, and just to do something different, so that we won't get distracted with those problems, or we don't get distracted with these troubles. I think just to keep the positivity going.
Yes, absolutely. Keep the positivity going. Absolutely. And in fact, in line with that, I have something that always makes me very happy, and that's this happy face here.
Oh, nice.
This little happy face is a lovely little reminder to put a smile on your dial, because it takes less muscles in your face to smile than it does to frown. So
Absolutely, yeah.
it is. It's very important. And actually, what just fell on the ground is my little clapper. Yay! My little
Yeah, so
all these
smiley.
little
That funny thing that you showed me, just as smiley as you are. I love your smile.
actually a mask. It's actually a mask. You'd stick it on and walk around.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty funny. Pretty funny.
Oh, nice.
So these little things, these are things that give me joy. All these little bits and
Yeah.
pieces.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
and to be empowered, also, it's important to be joyful, because I think being happy is so important. And we talked about you know, when you interviewed me on your show, we talked about Dr. Hawkins' scale of consciousness, which people can look it up. But basically, when you're happy, it's a very high vibe situation, and your vibe will attract your tribe.
Mm,
So if you want happier people around you, then just show up happier, you know, treat others as you want to be treated. And,
absolutely.
you know, and also, you know, be aware of those that are going to, you know, zap your energy as well, or they're going to do their best to, you know, take your energy as well. Not everyone has the same intentions out there.
Mm,
And while most people are great, there are those that are quite nasty out there too, or have very nasty behaviors. So we do need to also shield ourselves and protect our
mm.
energy from those who try to zap our energy as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree with that. Yeah. And there are some, on the way around, there is also some people who are going through the difficulties and troubles as well.
Mm,
And not necessarily they want to, be miserable, but life
mm,
is just, or the circumstances are making them miserable. And
yes.
it is actually very important to also encourage them as well and to be supportive
Mm,
on them as well.
that's true, true. Some people are just going through a hard time. And we
Mm,
don't know what people are going through. So also having that compassion is important too. Yeah, absolutely.
definitely.
Kindness to all living
Yeah,
beings. Kindness to all living
exactly.
beings is so
Yeah,
important.
there is no price for kindness, so it's free. Or a
Yes.
smile.
Yes, absolutely. So Annie, you know, you've done a bit of traveling in your time. I know you have because I've seen you on several overseas trips. So what's the future hold for you?
Oh gosh.
Big
I
question.
want to
Big
do
question.
lots of I want to do lots of things. So one of my aims, as I want to encourage as many people as I can, particularly in women. That's because I am the coach for women, but also for men as well. So I want to encourage as many people as I can to be confident and then go out and doing whatever they want to do in themselves and their lives. But also traveling is also my other passion because I love traveling the world, and I do want to go lots of places, especially in Asia and Far East and Australia as well. So one day I might come and find you.
Yes, love to show you around. Yeah,
Yeah,
Gold
and
Coast.
I do have actually other people in Australia that I'd like to visit. I don't know when that's gonna happen. So yeah, just getting on and then getting better and better with my coaching and with my marketing. Not interpreting as much, but with the other skills that I have, because I know that I can give more to people. I know that I can do that because I am a good listener and I can dedicate, my time to the people that I really like listening to and have issues with.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I love the fact that you know 3 languages. And I remember when I was in Turkey and Greece, gosh, 20 odd years ago. And I remember my cousin, I've got 2 cousins that live in Athens now. They were from Turkey as well originally, but now they live in Athens. And they both married Greek girls, interestingly. Um, and you know, my cousins, I remember one of them saying, "What, you only speak English?" He said to me, and over there they speak at least 3 languages. You know, it's Turkish, Greek, and English. You know,
Mm,
it's like, well, we haven't really needed anything other than English because everyone can speak English. You know, but I think it's fantastic to know other languages, and it's interesting
yeah.
because I can understand Turkish, and sometimes when I'm out and about and I hear people speak Turkish, and I'm sure they're thinking to themselves that I don't understand what they're saying, and so sometimes I can't help but eavesdrop a little bit and see if they're going to be talking about me, which they generally never talk about me. But you know, you kind of always wonder when people speak other languages if
Yeah,
they're going to
actually,
be
I speak four languages with Armenian. I also speak Armenian
oh,
as well. So yeah,
wow.
I do speak four languages, but it is good to know as many languages as you can because, like you said, you never know who is talking about you and
No,
what they are talking about you.
No, exactly. And it's a great way to build community with different cultures as well.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
definitely.
4 languages, that's extraordinary. Well, that's definitely empowered after 40, knowing
Mm,
4 languages. That's amazing, Annie. And I love your sense of adventure as well. Like when we did the Thailand elephant trip, that was literally, we'd finished the David Kavanagh's event, and we had,
mm.
I stayed a few extra days, and a few other people stayed a few extra days. And I just put a call out. I said, who wants to come to the Pattaya Elephant Sanctuary? And you said yes. You jumped in there, you came along, and there we
Mm.
were supporting an amazing cause, which was
I
saving
love
these
elephants. Yeah,
4
I
elephants.
love elephants. And just like you know, I can't look at, them being abused or mistreated. Some people get on an elephant and they think that it's something that they did, but they don't know, how much an elephant is suffering on that occasion. So I really do feel sorry, but I love Frankie. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Frankie. I would love to come actually to your elephant retreat next year, if you
Oh,
can.
that'd
Yeah.
be amazing. Yeah, we'll have to keep
Mm.
you posted on that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think it will be amazing. We're
Yeah.
doing elephant orangutan retreat in the wings for our 20th Animal Action event next year. And that was a very special day. We had 10 people come and join us from the seminar that jumped on the bus, and we all went along and supported this amazing Pattaya Elephant Sanctuary. It was really, really
Um,
wonderful. So,
beautiful. Yeah.
so it was quite an experience, wasn't it, Annie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
An experience that I'll never forget. It's actually quite amazing. You don't know until you touch an elephant. You don't know until you get there. You think that elephants are scary animals. They are not. They are so loving, so cuddly, and so I don't know, so human. I love them. Yeah,
They are. They're highly intelligent, actually, and
very.
they're very much family animals. And the way that they've been treated by a lot of people is absolutely disgusting.
They are. Yeah, it is.
Particularly, in India and Asia, some areas around there, they've really not been treated well by a lot of people. However, thankfully, there are good people who have done a lot to help rescue these elephants as well, which is wonderful. So, all we can do is do our best with ecotourism. Do not ride elephants, my friends. If you're going to
Mm,
Thailand if you look up
absolutely.
how riding elephants is bad for them. It actually breaks their backs. It's very, very bad for them. It's not natural for an elephant to be carrying that much weight on their back, and it causes serious harm. And also the babies are pulled away from their mothers at
Mm,
a young age, and they howl out, they scream out for their mothers. It's horrible the way they're separated and
So
chained up.
heartbreaking, isn't it? So
Oh, it's
heartbreaking.
horrible.
Yeah, it
When you
must be
look into it,
illegal. It must be illegal, actually.
well, it
Running
should
this
be
kind of
illegal, but,
places. Yeah,
cockfighting's illegal too, but they all do it. And,
yeah, yeah,
it happens right through the world. And of course the police are in on it. And, there's a lot of corruption with all of that, unfortunately.
yeah.
Uh, However, we can only do what we can do and help raise awareness, which is what we're doing. And that's part of, get informed, get empowered. We're talking about
Exactly.
empowered after 40. Get informed on these things, because if you don't know, you don't know. And how I found out about it, I was actually on a Pat Mesiti event in Thailand many years ago. And
Yeah,
Pat and his crew, they said, oh, we're going to take you out on a day together. And I'm sure they had no idea about the elephants, but it was this day where we went out and rode elephants. And I remember getting on the back of an elephant, and this poor elephant was struggling to walk. And I thought, gosh, this just doesn't feel right. Like, I just felt so
mm,
sorry for this elephant. And I just wanted to get off, I just didn't feel comfortable. And then I started to look into what happens when you ride elephants. And sure enough, I saw some shocking footage on YouTube and online about what happens with elephants when you ride them. And so there's a lot of ecotourism places now where you can go and visit the elephants. You don't have to ride them. You just walk with them. You bathe them.
exactly.
You can, if you want to bathe them, but obviously be careful that they don't land on you or anything like that. You've got to obviously be mindful.
Yeah,
Um, because that can be dangerous too. So,
yeah,
just treat the animals with respect.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, it's you just do your little bit, right? Do your little bit. And
Absolutely.
that's what being empowered after 40 is all about. So final
Yes.
thoughts on this. We are about to wrap up now, Annie. Any final
Mm.
thoughts on how to be empowered after 40?
I mean, yeah, just like I was saying previously, just be confident in yourself, do some personal development if you need to, take care of yourself, don't get distracted with what other people say, distance yourself from the negative people or from the poisonous people, I should say, and just be around the sportive people and the like-minded people, and just start doing or keep doing whatever you want to do. You won't regret it. You'll be happy.
Beautiful. Love that, Annie. Thank you so much. And is there a favorite quote or motto that you would like to share with us today for some final inspiration?
Yes, actually, I do. So my quote would be, your experience is your superpower. Every lesson, every challenge, every comeback has prepared you for this moment.
Love that. Love that. Thank you, Annie. That is amazing. And of course, people can connect with you. You mentioned on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. There we have facebook.com/Ani G Catino. So ANI G and Catino, CATINO, for those on the audio. Over there, connect with Annie if you would like to get some digital marketing done, or if you would like to be on her show, Empowered After 40 as well. Have a chat with her about that. Reach out to her.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much, Annie. And now my quote for today that I will leave you with is this one from Abraham Lincoln. I absolutely love this quote. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years.
Beautiful. What a
Yeah, it's
yeah, what a beautiful thing.
the
Beautiful
life in your
quote.
years. So
Yeah,
how can you add more
fantastic.
life to your years, right?
Mm.
And for those who want to connect with me, you can get all my links on linktr.ee/Aldwyn. That's linktr.ee/Aldwyn. We do have the Gold Coast book launches of Fear to Freedom, my brand new book with Leanne Clune. We have 13 authors from across Australia here in this book. I'm very excited about this. So that's going to be at the Avery Rooftop Bar in Southport, November 2 and November 5. We're doing two launches. We had our Sydney launch at the end of July, which sold out. It was a fantastic event. And now we're having our Gold Coast event. So really look forward to seeing you there. I know we've got quite a few people coming already, so that will be fantastic.
Oh, I wish I could be there as well.
Yeah, I wish you could too.
Mm.
Anyway, hopefully soon. But yeah, it's a long way to come from the UK. So you'll find that there in the linktree/Aldwyn. Also there, you will see our Fear to Freedom Facebook group. We are actually doing a series 2. This is series 1. So if you want to be in our next book and share your story of how you've transformed fear to freedom, how you've moved from challenge to overcoming challenge and having, great insights from that. It's a very inspiring story. So if you want to be in our next book, then reach out through there as well. Also, we have the Global Good News Challenge every month. That's absolutely free. It's free marketing for you. A great way to lift your energy by getting into gratitude. So the links for the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page are in there. My YouTube channel, subscribe there. You'll see lots of other videos. In fact, we have over 1,600 videos now on the YouTube channel. So love for you to connect there and check out some of our other inspiring content on there and lots of other goodies. So check out all the links there. Thank you so much for joining us here on Media Queen TV today. It's been an absolute pleasure being with you. Annie, thank you so much for being our guest. Any final words from you?
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you very much for having me, Aldwyn. And it was lovely
Pleasure.
speaking to you again. And my final thoughts are, just be happy and just be yourself.
Yeah, beautiful. Love that. It is a wrap, and we all get the clap now. Yay! Thank you so much.
Hey.
Sending you much love. We'll see you next time on Media Queen TV. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you,
Bye.
Aldwyn. Bye.